Hey friends, family, and folks, thanks for tuning in again. Last week we couldn't have our totalitarianism due to weather, and this week we were able to again. And once again, it was very fruitful and amazing. I think one of the things that I'm finding with the summaries is I could summarize everything in 5 minutes every day, or every week rather, with regards to the fact that, it really is about flooding the zone. That's what we talked about this week mostly, was flooding the zone. And we saw that with this administration in the United States. When the very first day Trump was in office, what did he do? He signed 6, 7, 10 executive orders, all put in place, all planned. Flooding the zone every single day. We have so many huge, important, political changes and occurrences, unlawfulness, hurtful, dehumanizing events happening that the normal person with a heart that is able to empathize and cares about fellow human beings gets exhausted. And that's what we talked about, is how exhausting it is. And that's, of course, a big part of the plan, right? And then we could go from steps from there. But the big one is that's what we ended up talking about this week. And as a Canadian, one of the ones today that came out for me was the story that is going to be aired tonight by Fifth Estate. And I hope everybody everywhere that can take it in does at some point take in that around 2019, 3 university students in Calgary who graduated, Rachel and what was that guy's name? Emmanuel Constantinidis. I think that's how it's pronounced. I have difficulty with pronunciation, so please bear with me. And when they graduated, along with David Bell, they decided that they would like to look at providing a platform where people who got kicked off all the other platforms for hateful speech had a place for free speech. And isn't that an interesting one? Free speech. Have you ever heard the term "nothing is free"? I can tell you freedom is not free. It was hard won by generations upon generations upon generations that have gone forward before us. And our job is to protect those freedoms. And sometimes freedom of speech is used to go against those freedoms. Let me illustrate how. So freedom of speech does not allow you to slander people. That's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech does not allow you to raise such fear and hate in society by your own speech that you cause an outcome that is unsavory and harmful to society. That's not free speech. That's hateful speech. Free speech is not free because it is won. It was won before by hard-working individuals in very difficult situations to create a legal system that says we have the freedom of speech. That excludes hateful speech, that incites violence in people who are on the edge of being radicalized. So, what happened with these 3 individuals, Rachel and what was his name? Emmanuel Constantinidis and David Bell, decided they would work for a living, creating a platform so that people who got removed from other platforms for hateful speech had a place to have hateful speech because they believe in free speech. Well, I can tell you my father fought for free speech. That's not free speech. That's allowing people to raise a platform of hatred and fear and instilling it in society so that bad things happen. That's not good. That's bad. Sorry for my simple language, but it gets the point across, does it not? So if I can illustrate, what they do is they allow people to come on live onto their platform and they pay a fee for that. But then if I come on live, I can come on and say, hey, everybody, let's not like everybody who has orange skin. And let's not like them so bad that we do this, this, and this. And donate to me. And here's my goal. My goal is $500 and they make $2,000. And the same people who watch these watch them every day and donate every day. And the same people who come onto these platforms like to incite people because they make money. And Entropy, is that the name of it? Entropy makes money. Entropy is what Emmanuel and Rachel Constantinidis and David Bell decided they would do with their lives, is make a platform where other people come on to pay to get on their platform so that they pay them and they take 15% of it. And those people are allowed to get donations so that they can raise hatred and fear in society. Exactly what we fought against, for example, in World War II. Do you see? So, people who... Yeah, well, this is my phone and my other phone talking to me. So, I am astounded by this and want to learn more about it. There are many anti-Semitic Jewish people who want to, Nazis, current day neo-Nazis that use their time to go on here. People who like to use the word that starts with N to describe dark-skinned people, black-skinned people. And there is evidence that there was a school shooting by a 17-year-old black man who had one of the people who chose to pay to go on Entropy's platform live several times. And what's the name of them? Goyim Defense League. Goyim is another word for a Gentile, I believe. But this Goyim Defense League created a pamphlet, and that same pamphlet was made into a huge canvas sign that was used outside of a synagogue to put down Jews. That same smaller version was a pamphlet, and it was found in that 17-year-old's backpack and part of his manifesto before he went on to kill students, before he killed himself. And the person who runs the Goyim Defense League came on Entropy's platform to celebrate that he had instilled not just fear and hatred and racism in the regular folk, but a black man against black people. Wow, what a celebration. I kid you not, people, this is happening. This is what most hearts of the world thought they fought against in World War II. Is being raised again, and it's making, I think it was $3 million, these three people, Rachel and Emmanuel Constantinidis and David Bell, processed in 1 year. They are making a profit off of other people making a profit by harming society and individuals. Well, you should hear the woman who lost her 16-year-old daughter to this man who was incited by the Goyim Defense League, who paid money to go on the Entropy's platform. And I can tell you the same thing is happening with anyone who's trying to do totalitarianism, authoritarianism, fascism, imperialism, of which we try to raise and speak and educate ourselves on each week here in Bancroft, Ontario, Canada. is the bigger picture of Peter Thiel, who supports J.D. Vance, who is greatly supported by Trump. Maybe not now, because all those people blackmail each other and have fallings out. It's all about who has the power at this moment and who is making enough money and giving enough money and having charities and giving money. It's all this hidden business. They need a scapegoat. They need to tell society who we're fighting against. That may be black people. It may be Somalis. It may be Jewish. If you ask me, I don't think they care who it is. They just need a scapegoat so that they can create fear, so that they can create hatred within society, because then you got something you can control. Because guess what? We're going to make that better. And the whole time what they're really doing is creating an environment and getting someone in power who will destroy governance so that they don't need to pay taxes, such as Elon Musk and business owners that we don't even know the names of. It's the same macrocosm on a world stage in the United States of America that's happening by these three individual Canadians who said, we did this in Calgary. And I was in Emmanuel said, I was in politics, but what I was doing for a living might have showed that I was a little far right. So he gets out of Canada and they now live in the United States. And they have 4 businesses now, 3 of which the Fifth Estate's journalist went to. One was a rundown, decrepit building or something. Another one's a vacant lot. It's just sham after sham. And now they're in Georgia, which is small enough, and they can get away with this because there's no laws against this type of speech. And in Canada, we are working on how to get laws against this hateful speech that causes children to be shot in schools. I'm trying to take a picture that is this big and put it into a 10 or 15 minutes visit with you. You will need to review this information, as will I, but there's a small example of what is happening in the world because why? People can make money off of it. And you should see the picture of Rachel and Emmanuel Constantinidis in their wedding and a nice little thing around her little white face, and he's hugging her. They are white supremacists, and I will tell you, no one is better than you. Whoever it is out there that's listening to me right now, no one is better than you. I'll say it again, no one is better than you. And I will say this, no one is worse than you. No one. No one. We are equal. Whether you are yellow, brown, black, white, orange, or somewhere in between. And I don't think the bigwigs and Hail Hitler, which is part of what they raised money so that they could go to Nashville, and they brutally attacked a biracial man and showed it live so that they could get followers because they can all make money from it. Hurting people. That man was working in a bar in Nashville on Broadway. That's what happened with 3 university graduates in Calgary, in Canada. It is in our backyard and it's in yours. And this is the problem that we have right now that is beginning to look like World War III. It all started with people who either wanted to save taxes, they wanted to get rid of governance so that they don't have to, they can run the world like a business. And they can be the CEO of the entire country or world because they don't need food stamps. They don't need health care. They don't need help. So what do they care? They want to get rid of taxes. Why don't we all just want to share a little bit? We all have so much if we would just share a little bit. So that became a bit of a kitchen rant, I suppose, but that's part and parcel of an example of the things that we like to raise and talk about at Totalitarianism, reviewing the book by Hannah Arendt, who wrote it in 1953 as a political theorist who had experience of living through World War II. And we've got people in Canada and the United States that are making good money trying to raise that again, where you're allowed to say Hail Hitler and you're allowed to say the N-word, which I just cannot say. Because they push forward that you should be allowed to have free speech. That's not free. That comes with a huge cost. It comes with the cost of humanity and children being shot in schools. Right back to square one. Excuse me for my black and white and excuse me for my simplicity, but one is right and one is wrong. One is bad and one is good. And it is bad to speak that way because you radicalize vulnerable people to do terrible things, and then to celebrate it so that you get more followers is really, really wrong. Stay tuned for next week. Thank you for listening. If this video meant something to you, changed your life, got you thinking, helped maybe save a 16-year-old in a school somewhere, then please share it. It's important. Thank you for listening. Till next time.